Tell me how, before we get to your backstory, tell me how the kind of that role of social media influencer has evolved in the last 13 years.
Heavily. It has changed a lot since we started. It was I want to say from the monetizing way, it changed a lot. Before when I started when I was 16 years old, um, no one could monetize from it, or very few people were monetizing from it. And then it came to a now era 13 years after where anyone can monetize any type of content they create. So that has impacted the influencing world and the content creation world in a huge way, because we see now kids want to be content creators when they grow up. And a lot of this careers that were sometimes dreamed of like for kids are now like a little on a side. You barely like hear kids want to be doctors and they want to be astronauts and this huge careers when we were growing up. That when influencing and social media and you know that, like you said, when we were kids and before 13, 15, 20 years ago, we wanted to be like the most wild you could be was like an actor or an actress, and that was already like completely outside of the norm. So now just creating content and being out there is for everyone that has a cell phone, and that's a lot of people in the world, and not only where we live, but just on the other side of the earth where people are able to also see your content. And it amazes me that sometimes I get comments. It's not very often, but sometimes I get comments from people like Hispanics that watch my content, and they are, in Malaysia and they are in Iran. So it's like very like oddly satisfying in a way, but also it's a lot of responsibility. Like you're putting yourself out there and you're putting this content to the world, and now it's so immediate for everyone compared to 20 years ago, where not everyone had a phone, not everyone had a computer at their houses, not everyone had a TV. So where the news were coming out, you would see it on a newspaper the day after, or you would see it on the TV maybe that night of the thing happening. So I think just how quick everything is changed a lot, and just the access that people have to phones.